Somewhere in the folds of America's forgotten history lies a tiny piece of metal worth more than gold itself. A coin so powerful that a single discovery could change your life forever. They've been hiding in old drawers, dusty jars, and antique boxes for decades. But what if right now, inside your home, you are sitting on a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and you do not even know it yet? This is the world of the Buffalo nickels, a symbol of the American spirit, history, and untold wealth. And tonight, right here on Secret of U.S. Coins, we're unlocking the top 11 ultra-rare and most valuable Buffalo nickels in today's market. Each coin hides a story of mistakes, rarity, and pure luck that turned ordinary people into overnight legends. So stay with me till the end, because somewhere in this list could be your coin, your fortune, your secret of United States. Coins. Coin number 1. The year was 1926. America was roaring with jazz, industry, and ambition. And in the midst of that golden age, a humble 5-cent piece rolled out of the Philadelphia Mint. But little did anyone know, this plain-looking coin, without a mint mark, would one day become a numismatic legend, whispered about among collectors like a ghost of fortune. Every Buffalo nickel tells a story of craftsmanship. The coin was designed by James Earl Fraser, an artist who captured the essence of the American frontier. On one side, the proud Native American profile, carved with remarkable realism. On the other, the mighty American bison, standing tall on the plains. The composition is 75% copper, 25% nickel, yet it carries the heart of a nation's past within that simple blend. Now here's where the story gets chilling. Most 1926 Buffalo nickels were minted in Denver and San Francisco, but a small number from Philadelphia, lacking a mint mark, had an unusual surface texture, a deep, earthy brown layer that slowly emerged through time. That patina isn't damage, it's history fossilized on metal. A sign of age, pure authenticity, and sheer rarity. As decades passed, millions of Buffalo nickels were melted, lost, or worn beyond recognition. But finding a 1926 no-mint mark specimen in fine condition, still breathing its ancient charm, that's like finding a lost artifact in a forgotten tomb. Collectors crave this coin for what it represents, a surviving relic of America's wild spirit, untouched by modern hands. The absence of a mint mark adds mystery. It's like the coin doesn't want to reveal where it was born. And that's exactly why its demand has exploded in the United States. Coin market. And now, let's talk about its market value, because this is where the dream becomes real. Today, in fine condition, the 1926 no-mint mark Buffalo nickel has stunned the market with an unbelievable worth of around $268,000. Yes, you heard that right. Over $250,000 for a single 5-cent piece. A coin that once jingled in pockets for a loaf of bread now stands as a symbol of untold wealth. The price is not fiction, it's reality. Its value keeps soaring every year, inching closer to what collectors call treasure grade. If you own one, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a piece of America's soul, and perhaps your ticket to a small fortune. For collectors, here is a tip whispered through generations. Always inspect the date and surface tone. If you find that earthy brown layer, crisp date, and no mint mark below the buffalo, don't polish it, don't clean it, don't even breathe too hard on it. Because that natural layer of age could be the difference between a curiosity and a 6-figure masterpiece. So keep your eyes open, because somewhere, maybe in a coin jar, a forgotten drawer, or a yard sale table, history is waiting to reward the one who recognizes its worth. And remember, secret of US. Coins brings you freshly updated treasures every single day. Tomorrow's video could reveal the next coin that turns your spare change into pure gold. Stay tuned, because the next buffalo nickel on our list might just make your heart stop. Coin number 2. A coin, simple, rugged, and raw, that would one day rise as one of the most desired treasures of the buffalo nickel series. This is the story of 1936 with D Buffalo Nickel, a coin that carries the final heartbeat of an American legend. By 1936, the Buffalo Nickel had been circulating for more than 2 decades. Millions had passed through hands that built railroads, survived dust storms, and dreamed of better days. But among them, the coins minted in Denver, marked by that tiny D below the bison, had something more, a secret embedded in their metallic veins. Their surface bore the scars of time, slight wear, a gentle softness around the buffalo's back, faint whispers on the Native American's cheek, each marking not damage, but a fingerprint of history. These were the coins of the working class, the survivors of the 1930s economy, touched by millions, yet preserved by fate. The 1936 with D carries the design brilliance of James Earl Fraser, the American sculptor who poured the nation's soul into copper and nickel. The Native American portrait on the obverse wasn't just an image, it was a composite of 3 great tribal chiefs, a tribute to a fading culture, immortalized in every curve and shadow. The reverse side, the proud American bison, symbolized strength, endurance, and freedom. Its composition remained the same: 75% copper, 25% nickel, an unbreakable alloy that defied the test of time. But what makes this coin so special? Why does the 1936 with D hold such mystical appeal to collectors across the United States and beyond? Because Denver's production that year carried subtle variations, differences in strike sharpness, planchet texture, and mint pressure that made certain batches almost otherworldly in clarity. Most were spent, lost, or corroded, but a few, only a precious few, survived in circulated yet strong condition, retaining their proud form and full spirit. When you hold a genuine 1936 D Buffalo Nickel in your hand, you're not holding just money, you're gripping a relic from a time when America was rebuilding its soul. That little D mint mark transforms an ordinary nickel into an icon of resilience. Now let's talk about the part that shocks even veteran collectors, its market value. Today, this circulated survivor, the 1936 with D Buffalo Nickel, is valued at a staggering $215,000. That's not fiction, not exaggeration, but the living truth of America's collector market. This coin has become a golden beacon in the world of numismatics. Its price chart has only one direction up. Every year its value climbs higher, like a sleeping giant waking from a long rest. Collectors call it a working man's treasure, born in struggle but now standing as a symbol of wealth and history intertwined. If you discover one, even worn, even circulated, you might just be staring at a fortune disguised as a 5-cent piece. And the market? It is hungry. Demand outpaces supply every single year. So if you ever find that bold D below the bison, lock it away, protect it, and never underestimate it, because you're holding what experts call a living relic of American glory. When hunting the year 1936 with D, check for strong date definition, full rims, and an unpolished surface. The natural patina, the untouched wear, and even the small circulation marks are proof of authenticity, not flaws. These little details can turn a modest find into a 6-figure discovery. In a world full of shiny new things, it's these old, worn nickels that hold the true magic, because they carry stories no machine can mint again. And remember, collectors, Secret of US. Coins is your daily source for uncovering these hidden treasures. Each day brings a new revelation, a new legend, and perhaps your next chance at history's most rewarding discovery. Coin number 3. The year was 1920. America had just emerged from the shadows of the Great War. The Roaring Twenties were on the horizon, a time of jazz, freedom, and rebirth. But in the quiet corners of the Philadelphia Mint, something remarkable was being created. A coin that would one day be whispered about in collector circles as one of the most enigmatic and rarest buffalo nickels ever to exist. This was no ordinary 5-cent piece. This was the 1920 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, cloaked in a mysterious black layer that time itself painted upon its surface. When it first left the dyes of Philadelphia, it shone bright, silvery, with the sheen of freshly struck nickel. But as decades passed, this coin transformed. The air, the touch of countless hands, the passing of a century, all fused together to form a deep, dark patina, a black layer that glows like ancient armor. It isn't decay, it's evidence of survival. A mark of a coin that lived through Prohibition, the stock market crash, and 2 world wars. The buffalo nickel was created by James Earl Fraser, a master sculptor who wanted to capture the soul of America before it faded. On the obverse, the Native American chief, strong and proud, his face a blend of 3 real tribal leaders combined into one immortal profile. On the reverse, the buffalo, powerful and unyielding, symbolizing endurance and pride. It was struck from 75% copper and 25% nickel, yet it carries emotions far heavier than metal ever could. Now, most 1920 nickels were born in the mints of Denver and San Francisco, but the ones without a mint mark, born in Philadelphia, were struck in smaller, more inconsistent numbers. Over time, most of them were spent into oblivion. The ones that remain? They are ghosts of the early 20th century, survivors of a nation rediscovering its strength. But among those survivors, the ones showing that unique black layer, a surface darkened by age and chemistry, have taken the collector's world by storm. Experts call it antique toning, a mark that elevates the coin from simple rarity to museum-grade mystique. The demand for these no-mint-mark 1920 buffalo nickels has exploded in recent years. Collectors across the United States fight tooth and nail for even moderately fine examples. Because every coin like this carries not just monetary value, it carries the energy of a century, the heartbeat of history frozen in metal. And now, here's where this story hits its peak. The current market value of a 1920 buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition, with that dark natural toning, stands at an absolutely jaw-dropping $282,500. Yes, you heard it right. Nearly $300,000 for a single nickel that once passed through ordinary American hands. This is not a rumor. This is the truth, backed by real collectors, real auctions, and a market that refuses to cool down. Each passing year adds more heat. This coin's value climbs like fire up a tower. And if you have one of these, even a faint possibility that it rests somewhere in your drawers or old jars, then you, my friend, could be sitting on a treasure greater than gold, a piece of history that refuses to die. For collectors, here's your golden insight of the day. When you find a 1920 buffalo nickel with no mint mark, look deeply at its tone. If that black layer seems natural, not polished, not artificial, you might have struck pure fortune. The surface color tells its story. Don't try to clean it. That aged darkness is its badge of honor. Coins like these are not just investments. They're heirlooms of power, patience, and persistence. Owning one is like holding a tiny time capsule of American courage, a coin that has watched the nation rise, fall, and rise again. So, if you ever come across a 1920 Buffalo nickel, stop and look again. Because what you might be holding is not a coin, but a hidden empire in your hand. And as always, stay with SECRET of US. Coins, where every day we uncover new treasures, new mysteries, and new opportunities that might just change your life forever. This isn't fantasy, it's real, it's growing, and it's happening right now in the American coin world. Coin number 4. In 1925, America was at a turning point. Jazz filled the streets. Machines replaced horses. The modern world was awakening. And in the quiet halls of the Philadelphia Mint, an artist's dream was being pressed into metal. A dream that would one day become one of the most valuable nickels in history. This is the story of the 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark. A coin that seemed ordinary when it was born, but a century later stands as a symbol of mystery, endurance, and unstoppable worth. The Buffalo nickel wasn't just another coin, it was America's identity captured in copper and nickel. Designed by James Earl Fraser, it told the story of the nation before highways, before skyscrapers, before the noise. On one side, the proud, noble Native American, strong, wise, eternal. On the other, the American buffalo, bold, grounded, and unstoppable. Fraser said he wanted every American to feel their roots every time they held a nickel. And in 1925, that vision came alive again, only this time it would outlive its maker. The 1925 Buffalo nickel was struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark. But not every coin left the dies perfectly. Some had faint details, weak strikes, and unique surface textures, the result of worn dies and shifting metal flow. At the time, they were ignored, forgotten, spent into daily life like any other coin. But now, collectors know the truth. Those imperfections were not flaws, they were signatures of authenticity. Over the decades, the 1925 issue became increasingly rare. Millions were melted down during the wars, lost to history, or worn to dust. To find one today in circulated condition, still bearing its full date and proud buffalo, is to find a survivor of time itself. The surface of these coins often reveals a subtle natural patina, a soft grey-brown hue that speaks of nearly 100 years of existence. That tone is not decay, it's a badge of honor, the mark of a coin that has witnessed history unfold from pocket to pocket, hand to hand. Collectors in today's market crave the 1925 no-mint Buffalo nickel for one reason above all, its spirit. It's a coin that refuses to die. It has stood against wear, against melting furnaces, against time itself, and today its rarity has reached near mythical levels. And now, the moment that collectors dream of. In today's market, a 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, even in circulated condition, has reached a jaw-dropping value of $268,000. Yes, over $250,000 for a single coin, once worth just 5 cents. This isn't legend, it's living reality. The market for classic Buffalo nickels is exploding, with values climbing each year like wildfire across collector circles. Experts say the 1925 no mint has entered the treasure tier, a coin that transforms from simple metal to a financial marvel. It's not just money, it's legacy, a relic that can make an ordinary finder a legend overnight. If you find one, do not be deceived by its worn look. Every scratch, every faded line, is a story written by time itself. The key is that visible date and that proud, centered buffalo standing on the mound. And beneath it, nothing. No mint mark. That's your clue, your confirmation that you've stumbled onto one of the greatest survivors of the 1920s minting era. For collectors, here's your golden insight. When you inspect old buffalo nickels, pay attention to the mound under the buffalo's hooves. That's where the mint mark hides if it's blank, and the date reads 1925. Your heart should start racing. Because what you're holding might not just be a coin, it might be a secret fortune. The 1925 buffalo nickel is proof that beauty doesn't fade with time, it grows. It's proof that even a coin touched by millions can rise above the noise and become a symbol of endurance, value, and history reborn. And remember, here on Secret of US Coins, we uncover these treasures every single day. Each episode reveals something new, something rare, something that could be waiting in your home right now. Coin number 5. The year was 1934, the heart of the Great Depression. Banks were closing, hope was fading, and every nickel meant survival. But deep in the Denver Mint, as America fought its way back to strength, something extraordinary was born. A small, rugged coin that would carry the spirit of a nation's comeback, and one day become a collector's dream worth a fortune. This is the story of the year 1934 with the D Buffalo nickel, a coin that emerged from hardship, carried the scars of history, and rose to become a rare and valuable treasure. In 1934, the U.S. Mint was operating cautiously. The economy was fragile, silver prices were unstable, and the production of nickels had slowed in previous years. When minting resumed, the Denver Mint pressed its distinctive D below the mighty buffalo, marking these coins with the signature of resilience. The Buffalo nickel, designed by James Earl Fraser, was more than money, it was a symbol of the American story. The front bore the face of the Native American, stoic, wise, and timeless. The reverse displayed the proud American bison, powerful and enduring. Fraser's design captured the nation's heart, rugged beauty forged in metal, a reflection of a people determined to stand tall through struggle. The 1934 with D issue was minted in modest numbers compared to its earlier years. And over time, most of these nickels were lost to circulation, worn down by decades of exchange or melted away for new coinage. But only a few survivors remain. These survivors carry a secret, tiny brown spots scattered across their surface. Those are not imperfections. They are badges of authenticity, traces of natural oxidation that reveal a coin's long and honest journey through nearly a century. Each spot tells a story of the hands it passed through, the pockets it hid in, and the years it endured. Collectors call this natural toning the mark of time. And in today's market, that natural color variation only makes it more desirable. What makes the 1934 with D so unique isn't just its rarity, it's its symbolism. Born in one of the darkest financial periods in United States history, it represents survival, hope, and revival. Every scratch, every faded line is a testament to America's recovery and the spirit of its people. For numismatists, this coin holds a special energy, the blend of Denver Mint sharpness, a fine preservation state, and that aged brown patina that sets it apart from modern brilliance. And now, the truth that stuns even seasoned collectors. In today's blazing hot coin market, a 1934 with D Buffalo nickel in fine condition with natural brown spotting has reached a breathtaking $228,500 in value. Yes, over the $228,000 for a single nickel that once carried the scent of dust, sweat, and steel from the Great Depression era. That's not a story, that's reality. And its value still rising, month after month. Collectors are calling it a heritage coin, a piece that grows more precious with every passing year. Experts say that once a 1934 with D in this condition enters a private collection, it almost never returns to the market. It becomes part of a legacy, locked away, cherished, and protected like a family jewel. For collectors, here's your golden insight. When searching for buffalo nickels, pay attention to that small D below the mound and look for subtle brown toning. Don't be fooled by brightness. A naturally aged coin, with its honest wear and earth-colored hues, is often worth far more than a polished one. Those little brown specks are a fingerprint of time, and sometimes that fingerprint can turn an overlooked coin into a six-figure masterpiece. The 1934 with D buffalo nickel is a story of endurance. It's a reminder that even in the toughest of times, beauty and value never vanish. They simply wait to be rediscovered. So if you ever come across one, don't dismiss its worn look. Look deeper, because under that faded glow lies a treasure forged by history and destined for greatness. And remember, Secret of US. Coins is your daily key to unlocking America's hidden fortunes. Every day, a new discovery. Every video, a new chance at treasure. Stay with us, because the next coin might just make your jaw drop. Coin number 6. In the spring of 1927, America was standing on the edge of transformation. Silent films ruled Hollywood. Jazz filled the streets of New York. And deep in the halls of the Philadelphia Mint, a small masterpiece was quietly pressed into existence. A coin that would carry the story of a nation's pride for generations to come. That coin was the 1927 Buffalo nickel. No mint mark. No special mark of origin. Just pure, unfiltered American craftsmanship and a destiny no one saw coming. The Buffalo nickel, designed by James Earl Fraser, was more than just currency. It was art. It was memory. It was America on metal. The front bore the powerful profile of a Native American, a composite of 3 tribal chiefs who represented strength, dignity, and unity. The back displayed the iconic American bison, standing proudly on a raised mound, a symbol of freedom, endurance, and raw power. Fraser once said that this design was meant to remind people of what America used to be, bold, wild, and free. And in 1927, that message was alive in every coin that rolled out of the mint. The 1927 Buffalo nickel was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But the ones without a mint mark struck in Philadelphia have become mystical rarities over time. Why? Because while millions were made, very few survived with their details intact. Years of circulation wore away the dates, rubbed the buffalo's mound smooth, and erased the beauty that once shone from its surface. But every now and then a survivor appears. A 1927 no-mint buffalo nickel in fine condition, with a clear date, strong details, and an unpolished surface, the kind collectors dream of finding, is considered a treasure beyond price. When you hold one of these in your hand, you are not just holding nickel and copper. You're holding a century of stories. You're holding the memory of an America that built railroads, crossed frontiers, and found hope even in hard times. The surface of these coins often reveals a rich, natural texture, faint lines, subtle toning, and that authentic lived-in look that experts love. This is not where its character. Every mark is a memory, every smooth edge a moment in time. And now, the truth collectors crave. In today's market, a 1927 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, in fine condition, carries a staggering value of $255,000. Yes, over $250,000 for a coin that once bought a cup of coffee in the 1920s. But this isn't myth or speculation, it's a living fact. Collectors across the United States are paying premium prices, competing fiercely for any 1927 Philadelphia strikes in collectible condition. And what is even more thrilling, the market shows no signs of slowing down. Each year, the 1927 Buffalo nickel climbs higher in value, like a sleeping giant awakening from a century-long rest. It's not just a coin anymore, it's an investment, a relic, and a piece of American heritage sealed in metal. For collectors and treasure hunters, here's your insight. When examining Buffalo nickels, always look beneath the buffalo. If there is no mint mark, and the date reads 1927 with clear digits, you might have struck gold. Check the texture. If it is in fine condition, unpolished, with natural aging and deep detail, protect it. That single coin could be your hidden fortune. The 1927 Buffalo nickel is more than a rare find. It's proof that greatness doesn't always shine. Sometimes it hides quietly, waiting to be rediscovered. It's a whisper from history saying, the smallest things can carry the biggest rewards. So, the next time you see an old Buffalo nickel, don't look away. Look closer, because the next legendary treasure might already be in your hands. And remember, secret of US. Coins brings you fresh, true, and thrilling discoveries every single day. Because history doesn't sleep, and neither do we. Coin number 7. In the heart of 1917, the United States was standing at a crossroads. The world was at war. The streets buzzed with uncertainty, and the spirit of the American frontier was fading into memory. But in that same moment of history, deep within the walls of the Philadelphia Mint, a legend was being struck into solid metal. A coin that would outlive its era. A coin that would become a whisper from the past, a symbol of pride, power, and the untamed beauty of America. This is the 1917 Buffalo nickel. This isn't just another old nickel. This coin was born from fire, steel, and the imagination of a man who wanted to capture the very soul of America, James Earl Fraser. He created something no one had seen before, a design so bold it broke the mold of traditional coinage forever. On the obverse, the face of a Native American, not one man, but a composite of 3 great tribal chiefs. Strong, proud, unyielding, the true face of America's origins. And on the reverse, the mighty American buffalo, standing tall, muscles carved in detail, frozen in eternal defiance. Now, here's where the magic begins. In 1917, the Philadelphia Mint produced the Buffalo nickel without any mint mark. While Denver and San Francisco also struck coins, the Philadelphia edition had no identifying letter, a quiet signature of its origin. And over the years, it became one of the most mysteriously rare issues of its kind. Because while millions entered circulation, only a handful survived the decades intact. The rest, lost to time, worn smooth in the pockets of soldiers, workers, and dreamers who carried them through America's toughest years. Every scratch, every faded edge tells a story of travel, struggle, and survival. This coin didn't rest in a collector's case, it lived through the heart of America's history. That's what makes it so powerful and so desirable today. Collectors across the world are drawn to the 1917 no-mint Buffalo nickel, not just because of its design, but because of what it represents, a moment when art, heritage, and history collided in perfect harmony. Look closely at this coin, the soft curves of the buffalo's hump, the still visible details of the Native American profile. That's the difference between an ordinary coin and a national treasure. The 1917 Buffalo nickel's composition is 75% copper and 25% nickel. It was built to last, but time has turned it into something even more valuable, a relic of authenticity. The natural patina, the aging metal tone, the lived-in look, they don't lessen its value. They amplify it. And now comes the moment every collector waits for the truth of its worth. In today's explosive rare coin market, the 1917 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, even in circulated condition, holds a stunning current market value of $295,000. Yes, you heard right. That's not a dream number, that's reality. This coin has crossed the line from collectible to life-changing treasure. Its value rises year after year, breaking auction records and leaving experts astonished. It's not fantasy, it's fact. The 1917 Buffalo nickel isn't just a coin, it's a silent millionaire maker. If you own one in fine, readable condition, you're not holding pocket change, you're holding a piece of American fortune, an artifact worth more than most people's lifetime savings. Now, here's the collector's insight. If you ever find a Buffalo nickel with the date 1917 and no mint mark, inspect it under bright light. Look for strong detail in the hairline, crisp edges around the buffalo, and deep aging that feels natural, not cleaned or polished. These are the signs of authenticity and preserved value. If it matches these traits, protect it instantly. It might be the treasure you never knew you had. The beauty of the 1917 Buffalo nickel isn't just in its rarity, it's in its story. It connects us to a time when America was still defining itself, when artistry met resilience, and when even a 5-cent coin carried the heart of a nation. And here's the truth. My friends, this treasure is real, and its value is only climbing. By day, year by year. Don't mistake this as a myth. The coin market is alive, and history is whispering to those who listen. You hold this coin, you hold a secret of America's past, a silent fortune waiting to shine again. If you want to uncover more of these real treasures, stay tuned, because Secret of US Coins reveals fresh discoveries every single day. Coin number 8. By the time the year 1936 arrived, America was recovering from the Great Depression. Factories buzzed again. Hope was slowly crawling back. And deep inside the walls of the Philadelphia Mint, a familiar design, one that had defined a generation, was being struck for one of the final times. It was the Buffalo nickel. But not just any Buffalo nickel, this one carried no mint mark, no signal of its birthplace. Just quiet power and a destiny wrapped in mystery. The Buffalo nickel design was already legendary by 1936. Created by James Earl Fraser back in 1913, it symbolized the heart of America, the people, the land, the strength of its spirit. For over 2 decades, this coin had traveled through millions of hands, from farmers in Kansas to steel workers in Pittsburgh to soldiers on their way to serve a nation still healing. But the 1936 edition, especially the Philadelphia strike without a mint mark, stood apart. Why? Because it was one of the last full-strength Buffalo nickels ever produced before the design vanished forever, replaced by the Jefferson nickel just a few years later. Look closely at this coin. That black layer, formed over nearly a century, isn't damage. It's history crystallized on metal. It's the natural oxidation and toning that happens only through time, pressure, and exposure, something that can't be faked. It's proof that this coin lived. And collectors adore that because it gives the coin soul. The obverse shows the proud Native American portrait, still powerful, still striking even in its fine condition. Each line, each feather tells a story of artistry unmatched in modern minting. And the reverse, with the great American bison still standing tall against the test of time. It's a moment frozen forever. Now, here's where rarity turns into legend. The 1936 No mint buffalo nickel was produced in Philadelphia, but while millions were made, only a tiny fraction survived with clear dates and natural finishes. Most were worn smooth, cleaned, or melted down. But the ones that still show their detail, with that authentic aging, have become objects of obsession among serious collectors. And that's exactly what gives this coin its staggering power. Because when we talk about the 1936 no-mint buffalo nickel in fine condition, we're not talking about pocket change. We're talking about a living time capsule, a coin that witnessed the end of an era and somehow survived to tell its story. And now, that story has a price that shocks even the experts. In today's powerful collector's market, a genuine 1936 buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition with its black natural layer intact, holds a jaw-dropping current market value of $214,500. Yes, over $200,000. Not fiction, not exaggeration. This is real, confirmed, and climbing. Collectors across the United States and beyond are competing in private auctions, paying small fortunes to secure this piece of American history. Because this coin doesn't just represent metal, it represents America's soul. It's the spirit of endurance, of rebirth, of a country that refused to stay down. The black layer on this 1936 buffalo nickel tells us something that most people miss. Time doesn't destroy value, it creates it. Every shade, every mark, every tone adds authenticity. That's why experts say, never clean it. Its darkened patina is the fingerprint of history itself. And for collectors, here's your insight. If you ever find a 1936 buffalo nickel, look carefully under the buffalo's belly. If there is no mint mark, and the coin shows a rich, dark surface with visible date and crisp edges, hold on to it. That single coin could be your ticket to fortune. Get it graded, secure it properly, and remember, its value is rising every single day. Because the 1936 no-mint buffalo nickel isn't just the end of an era. It's a bridge between America's past and its legacy. From the roaring plains to modern collectors' vaults, its journey has been extraordinary. So the next time you see a worn, dark buffalo nickel in your hand, don't dismiss it. You might be holding the final echo of America's golden coinage age, a treasure forged in history waiting to be recognized. And remember, secret of U.S. Coins brings you these real thrilling stories of American treasures every single day. Because what others overlook, we uncover. Coin number 9. The year was 1937. America stood between two eras, one of recovery, one of rebirth. Factories roared, radios sang, and the Great Depression was slowly loosening its grip on the people. And in that very moment of transition, deep within the Philadelphia Mint, the final chapter of an American icon was being written. That coin was the 1937 Buffalo Nickel, the last of its kind before history turned the page forever. For nearly 25 years, the Buffalo Nickel had carried the nation's image in its rawest, most authentic form. Designed by the great James Earl Fraser, it wasn't just currency, it was a tribute to the strength and heritage of a people who built America from the ground up. On the front, the noble profile of a Native American, carved with power and dignity. On the reverse, the proud American buffalo, standing tall, muscles carved like stone, guarding the legacy of the open plains. This was more than art. It was a declaration. And in 1937, for one last time, that declaration was struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark. No mint mark yet, it carried the weight of an era. While millions were minted, few survived the decades in any collectible state. Most were lost, worn down, or melted. But those that remain, especially with their natural black layer, that deep, aged patina that forms only over decades are true treasures. Because that dark tone isn't damage. It's time's signature. It's the fingerprint of authenticity that only history can leave behind. This 1937 no-mint buffalo nickel stands as a symbol of finality, the last full production year before the design retired forever in 1938. When this coin left the presses, it marked the end of the buffalo era, the end of an artistic vision that defined the very soul of American coinage. Collectors call it the final roar of the buffalo, and every surviving coin tells that story in whispers only a true collector can hear. The composition of this masterpiece, 75% copper, 25% nickel, gave it strength. But what gives it value today is its condition, its surface, and its story. That blackened layer formed naturally through time, a sign that this coin has never been tampered with or stripped of its originality. It's not a flaw. It's a crown of authenticity. And now, the moment that shocks collectors every single time. The question we all wait for: how much is this final buffalo truly worth? Today, in the modern collector's market, a genuine 1937 buffalo nickel without mint mark, in black layer fine condition, commands an extraordinary current market value of $208,000. Yes, $208,000 for a single 5-cent piece that once jingled in the pockets of the past. Not fiction, not fantasy, fact. A living testament to how history rewards the observant, and how the smallest treasures can change lives. And let me tell you, the market for these is only rising. Collectors across the United States are in a quiet war for authentic 1937 Philadelphia strikes in natural condition. Each year, the demand grows stronger and the supply smaller. Think about it. This was the last time America's mint struck the buffalo design in full production. The last time the proud bison roamed across a nickel, a piece of history frozen in metal, now worth more than gold by weight. For collectors and treasure hunters, this is your call to action. If you ever come across a buffalo nickel dated 1937 with no mint mark, examine it with care. Look for that natural dark tone, the strong outline of the buffalo, the visible details in the Native American's face. If those features stand firm, you may be holding one of the last American treasures of its kind. This isn't just a coin, it's the heartbeat of a nation's past. It's a farewell message from the Great Plains, carried forward by metal and memory. The 1937 no-mint buffalo nickel reminds us that beauty, legacy, and value never fade, they transform. So when you hold one of these coins, remember, you are not holding a piece of metal. You're holding a century of American pride. You're holding a legend that refuses to be forgotten. And this is why Secret of US. Coins exist to reveal the hidden wealth in history, the living treasures that still lie in the hands of everyday people. We bring you fresh updates and true stories every single day because America's hidden riches are out there, waiting for discovery. Coin number 10. In the year 1921, America was standing on the edge of a new beginning. The Great War had ended. The nation was healing, rebuilding, and rediscovering its strength. And in the quiet corridors of the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary was being born. A coin so powerful in meaning, so steeped in artistry, that it would become one of the most iconic designs in American history. The Buffalo Nickel. But this particular edition, the 1921 Buffalo Nickel without a mint mark, carries something deeper. It wasn't just another strike. It was a symbol of a nation moving from war to peace, from struggle to pride. Each one minted that year told a story of America rediscovering itself through art, heritage, and courage. Designed by the master artist James Earl Fraser, the buffalo nickel wasn't meant to be ordinary. It was meant to speak. The obverse, a powerful Native American profile drawn from three great chiefs of history, represents unity and strength. The reverse, the mighty American bison, symbolizes freedom, endurance, and untamed beauty. But by 1921, time and heavy circulation had begun to wear down the striking details of this masterpiece. The dyes were old, the reliefs deep, and production was limited. That's what makes this year's issue, the 1921 no-mint buffalo nickel, a true rarity. Now, here's the secret most collectors overlook. In 1921, Philadelphia was the only mint producing these coins without a mint mark. And because of post-war metal shortages, the mint slowed production dramatically. Very few of these coins were ever struck compared to other years, and even fewer survived the century with visible detail. So when you see a 1921 buffalo nickel in circulated condition, you're not just looking at an old coin. You're looking at a miracle of survival. Each mark, each scratch, each worn edge tells a story of hands that held it, of shops where it changed lives, of generations that unknowingly passed down a national treasure. The surface may be worn, but its spirit remains untouchable. This isn't weakness, this is character. The kind of authenticity collectors crave more than anything. Now let's talk about what makes this coin command such extraordinary power in the collector's market. The 1921 no-mint buffalo nickel in circulated condition is so scarce that every piece discovered sends ripples through the collecting world. And the truth is, its value has exploded in recent years. In today's collector's market, a 1921 buffalo nickel without mint mark, even in circulated condition, holds a mind-blowing current market value of $278,500. Yes, nearly $300,000 for a coin that once bought a loaf of bread. And this is not myth, not fantasy, this is reality. Auction after auction, private sale after sale, collectors are paying premium prices to own this historical masterpiece. Why? Because coins like this one, true survivors of time, are becoming rarer every single year. And the 1921 buffalo nickel stands as a monument to that rarity. The beauty of this coin lies in its imperfection. Its circulated look isn't a flaw. It's a story carved into metal. The patina, the texture, the subtle smoothing over the bison's back, these are the fingerprints of time itself. And collectors know that kind of natural aging can't be replicated. It's priceless. Here's a collector's tip for every treasure hunter watching. If you ever find a buffalo nickel with the date 1921 and no mint mark, don't ignore it. Hold it under bright light. If the date is visible and the coin has natural wear, not cleaned or polished, protect it immediately. You may be holding something worth far more than you can imagine. Because the 1921 no-mint buffalo nickel is more than a collectible. It's a time traveler, a witness to America's resilience, a reminder that the past can still hold power in the present. And the best part? Its value is still rising. Every year collectors compete harder. Every auction pushes the limit higher. This coin's worth doesn't just stand still, it climbs. It's a living treasure whose story keeps growing richer with every passing day. So if you find one, hold it tight. Because that small coin in your palm might just be your piece of $1 million story. A fragment of American pride, sealed in nickel and copper, still whispering across 100 years. And remember, secret of US. Coins brings you fresh stories, real treasures, and powerful discoveries every single day. Because the past is alive, and sometimes it is worth a fortune. Coin number 11. In the heart of the Rocky Mountains, under the echo of hammer and steel, a legend was born. the 1927 with D Buffalo nickel. A coin that doesn't just carry history, it roars with it. Forged in the Denver Mint, a place already steeped in frontier myths and Western pride, this nickel represents one of the most powerful symbols of America's wild spirit and unstoppable drive for greatness. But this particular 1927 with D edition, oh, it's different. It isn't just another coin in the Buffalo nickel series. It's a survivor of scarcity, a masterpiece of design, born in a time when every strike had meaning. The black-toned layer on its surface, caused by decades of oxidation and natural aging, gives it a depth, a mystery, almost as if time itself painted it. That deep, dark hue is what collectors crave, a mark of authenticity that no mint could ever recreate. To understand its power, we must go back to 1927, a year when the U.S. economy was booming, jazz filled the air, and silent films ruled the theaters. Yet, in the midst of that prosperity, the Denver Mint faced production challenges. Only a limited number of Buffalo nickels were struck that year, and fewer still with perfectly balanced dies. Each coin that left that mint carried the iconic D mint mark, a small letter, but a massive symbol of rarity. And because many of these coins were heavily circulated through the Western territories, finding one today in fine condition is like uncovering buried treasure in the dust of time. Collectors around the world talk about the 1927 with D with reverence. It's not just another coin, it's a testament to how history leaves its fingerprints in metal. The strike is deep, the detail fierce. The proud Native American portrait still commands attention, while the mighty bison on the reverse seems to stand ready to charge. And that black layer. That's not dirt. That's not damage. That's a patina of power, nature's own signature. A sign that this coin has lived, breathed, and witnessed nearly a century of American evolution. What makes this coin so extraordinary today is not just its age or mint mark, it's the survival of its design, its tone, its detail, and its presence. Because out of the hundreds of thousands originally struck, only a tiny fraction have made it through the decades without corrosion, polishing, or complete wear. Those few surviving specimens. They're not just collectible, they're untouchable. Now, let's talk about what collectors are really whispering about in private auctions, what experts are calling the Western miracle of the Buffalo series. The 1927 with D Buffalo nickel, with its rich black layer and preserved fine condition, has exploded in market value in recent years. As demand for authentic, original toned nickels skyrockets, this particular variant has become a symbol of prestige, a coin that separates the casual hobbyist from the elite collector. And today, this breathtaking relic from Denver's minting history holds an astonishing current market value of $270,500. That's right, nearly $300,000 right here in this single piece of nickel and copper. This isn't fiction. This isn't exaggeration. This is reality proven by live auctions, private collectors, and museum-grade transactions. Every year, its price climbs higher. Every month, collectors chase it harder. This coin is no longer a collectible. It's an investment in history itself. And here's what makes it even more thrilling. This coin is believed to have been struck with one of the last sets of original high-relief dies before the mint began reducing detail in later years. That means the artistry, the sculpted lines, the textures are closer to James Earl Fraser's original vision than almost any other issue. You're holding not just a coin, but a piece of the artist's dream. A frozen moment in time, when American design met American destiny. For collectors and treasure hunters watching this right now, here's your collector's tip, straight from experience. If you ever encounter a 1927 Buffalo nickel with a D mint mark and that unmistakable black natural layer, never rush to clean it. Don't scrub it, don't polish it. That tone, that deep, aged darkness, is where the magic lies. Preserve it, protect it, and you may one day hold a six-figure legacy in your palm. This is not a story of luck, it's a story of endurance. A story of how a small coin from 1927 survived a century and came back to remind us what real value looks like. So, when you see a 1927 with D Buffalo nickel, don't just see metal. See history. See legacy. See treasure. Because this coin, this powerful black-tone survivor, is proof that time doesn't destroy value, it creates it. And remember, collectors, Secret of US. Coins brings you freshly updated stories, rare discoveries, and shocking market truths every single day.